How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Crypto Clout. We are, in fact, doing a Bitcoin giveaway on this channel, so if you would like to have a chance to win zero point 0.1 Bitcoin, all you have to do is be subscribed to the channel, and of course, comment your Bitcoin wallet address in the comments down below, and you'll be automatically entered for a chance to win. The only qualification is that you are a loyal subscriber with post notifications turned on, and we will actually be announcing the winner on Friday. So, today, the topic of discussion on this episode is Cardano, and of course, in the light of the TestNet that we've just seen regarding Cardano, it's pretty interesting to see how the community has responded, and it's interesting, of course, looking at the list of top 11 cryptos right here. Pretty much everything's in the red, and then of course Cardano in that number 7 position at the time of making this video at 1.10 in the green. Pretty exciting to see the fact that Cardano has had, I would say, interesting and successful as far as the recent testnet has gone. I am really excited for this testnet in regards to Cardano. I think the developers having a chance to really play around with the various potential that's in store for Cardano it's really a showing of a sign that we're moving in the right direction when it comes to the technology. And overall, I think as things continue to develop in regards to this technology, smart contracts really do have their place in the future of cryptocurrency. So anybody who's taking into consideration the current trends that we've been seeing evolving in respect to cryptocurrency as a space, I would say as Cardano is currently in the number 7 position, the fact that it's going to take, they're really taking their time in respect to developing themselves, and I think this is going to play to their advantage because they have a key strategic point now that's working for them, and they're essentially going to leverage the current variables that are working in the technology. And I think Cardano definitely has the potential to make the right decision in places where other technologies have certainly failed as they've come through these crucial points. So as we continue to see Cardano acting the way that it is right now, this testnet is a very good sign that Cardano is basically moving in the right direction, and I think it should be a sign of confidence for people who've been paying attention to this technology and really watching the different variables as they've unfolded in respect to the potential that's in store for Cardano. It's certainly one of my favorite cryptos that I've been paying attention to lately because I think they're the most tuned in respect to how the future is going to be interacting with cryptocurrency. And it is, of course, important to take into consideration how early Cardano is in respect to its age, but not only that, but how much potential it has as we continue to move forward and we see more of these opportunities opening up and manifesting themselves for various different elements of where cryptocurrency can be seen actually having a fundamental real world influence on the way that people live their lives. When I look at these different technologies, I always think to myself, what will these cryptos actually be looking like in the real world, and how will they actually be influencing people in their day-to-day lives? And when it comes to Cardano, I think it really does have a substantial place as we continue to move forward. So it's one of the most exciting in regards to that. When you think of Ethereum in its early stages, people would have never guessed that it would get this big, and certainly that could be similar when it comes to Cardano. Definitely really an exciting technology to see develop, especially when it's such an early phase. I find it interesting how websites like Global Coin Report release all of these various different articles, matter-of-factly stating how Cardano is going to be doing good in the future. I mean, you just take this one from 16 Hours, for example. You can read it for yourself. These are pretty interesting headlines, to say the least, from these various different news websites that pride themselves on being basically more analytical and honest when it comes to evaluating these technologies. But it's interesting to see how the community, the strong community that's established itself around Cardano, has really yielded this positive media attention, which is a good indication of the public consciousness regarding this technology. As we've seen things continue to develop and move forward, Cardano definitely is one of the most interesting technologies to be paying attention to right now, as far as my opinion is concerned. Ultimately, Cardano is showing early signs of really having a lot of potential in store for it when you consider the various different stages that a crypto needs to go through in respect to actually being able to have its influence essentially affect the totality of the market. But of course, you have to take into consideration a multitude of variables, including the circulating supply, which has brought a lot of people's attention. And of course, there's multitude of variables. I mean, my understanding of Cardano is fundamentally data driven. I find that it's important to have a full understanding of the way that this technology is going to be developing over time. And that also includes taking into consideration the team that's been working on Cardano. And I think fundamentally there's a lot of really similarities that can be drawn between Cardano and some really exciting projects that have basically taken a similar direction. But I think Cardano has something unique about it that's essentially going to work in the technology's favor, and we should see some really interesting things as they continue to expand themselves over time. Of course, when you take into consideration the dynamics that are happening regarding the cryptocurrency space, it is interesting to see how things have been moving along. Of course, only a few days ago, we were seeing the total market at 300, and now it's up to 323. So pretty substantial. But of course, cryptocurrency is very volatile by nature, and you really have to expect to see tragedies occurring left and right when it comes to these sort of things. Those of us with tough skin who've been involved with cryptocurrency for any amount of time pretty much understand how these things go. And of course, it's important not to get your hopes up too much. For me, Cardano is definitely a long-term. My hopes are definitely up long-term for Cardano, but of course, moment to moment, anything can happen in the world of cryptocurrency. Of course, this total market cap number that we see up here is due to a multitude of variables that come together on an international scale. And overall, as we continue to move forward, we are in a very early point in cryptocurrency. Of course, looking at how far we've seen Bitcoin come in such a short amount of time, currently at 7,400, which is a long way from where we were seeing it back at its all-time highs when it was around the end of 2017, seeing Bitcoin around the $20,000 range. And of course, it is natural to see these sort of trends. And of course, I would consider us going through a period of a healthy correction when it comes to cryptocurrency. And I wouldn't necessarily say that the way that the market currently is exactly a reflection on the technologies. But of course, there is something to be said when you take all those variables into account. And of course, Cardano has really been showing off the potential that's in store for the technology as we've continued to see the potential that's in store for it really developing. Now, when you take into consideration the first stage of cryptocurrencies and how it's become developing and the trends and so forth, we saw Bitcoin, of course, was number one. Digital gold, essentially a placeholder for value and a paradigm shifting introduction to the world of cryptocurrencies. And then, of course, Ethereum, which is generation 2 of cryptocurrency, where we saw the introduction of smart contracts and really a complete overhaul of what people imagined the potential, and really an increase in the potential that's in store for crypto. But now it's time for the next real big revolution in cryptocurrency, which will move us into the next paradigm, essentially, which is Cardano. And I'm really interested in how Cardano has been really expanding in the various different deals that we can see. In particular, we're going to be seeing this summer some really interesting developments happening with Cardano. And it's really an interesting time to be paying attention to the technology. But of course, remember, I'm not a financial advice. This is not financial advice. This is for entertainment, educational purposes only. Disclaimer, I'm not your dad, yada yada. You all know. Basically, this is 100% my opinion. And when it comes down to Cardano, I would say that my opinion is pretty positive. But of course, I'd recommend that you guys go and follow Cardano on their official Twitter, just because it's a really great resource to stay up to date watching these technologies develop in real time. And of course, I'd recommend that you guys go and follow follow our Twitter. We have a new Twitter. I'll be including the link to it down in the description, so you guys should go and follow that. And of course, we're always welcome to hearing what you guys have to say. You guys can tweet at us, send us comments. Any feedback is welcome. I think it's important that we're building this community and giving everybody in the community a voice, and really hearing various different perspectives regarding crypto. And in the spirit of hearing different opinions, we're actually going to be including a link to this crypto headquarters video that talks about the recent testnet. And this is a really great 9-minute video that goes into detail. Recommend everybody go and subscribe to this channel. Big shout out to them. I was watching it. Really interesting content here. I've watched this video twice now, and yeah, so I'll be including the link to that in the description if you guys are interested in watching that after this video is over. But yeah, overall it is interesting to see how Cardano has been developing and progressing as things have continued to move forward. But all that being said, I hope you guys have enjoyed this content, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one. Make sure that you comment down below and subscribe to the channel, and of course share this with any friends or family who you might think might benefit from this information. Have a good one.